முன்னாடி கொண்டு போ லைட் நம்ம
Good afternoon everyone present here. So I welcome you all on behalf of Media Center, HAJEE KARUTHA, HOWDIA College, Uttamapalayam, Pene district on student development program, that is digital learning, e-resources and tools. And also it gives me immense pleasure to welcome and introduce our resource person, Dr. M. Jannatul Firdaus ma'am. She is one of the most dynamic, talented and inspiring professor of our college. She has published nearly 36 research papers in national and international journal and also awarded a best researcher. And with this few words, I welcome and request Dr. M. Jannatul Firdaus ma'am to come to the dais and start today's session.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. First of all, I would like to thank our principal, convener, coordinator and members of this media center of our college for providing me this wonderful opportunity. So today we are on the 5th day of student development program on digital learning, e-resources and tools. So we are going to discuss about how to write a scientific paper and what are the tools and techniques that are available to make this process an easier one. Okay? So, how do you interact with your friends and family members who live in abroad or a few miles away from your place? Anyone? Through social media. Yeah. So, you will be having your WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram and many more social medias where you can interact with your family members as well as friends. Similarly, researchers will communicate their research findings to the peer teams as well as to the research fraternity by publishing papers in reputed journals. Okay, so these are some of the reputed journals, Spinga, Scopus, Elsevier. So these are some of the reputed journals where you can publish your article or paper. And the main aim of any researcher would be to publish in Nature journal. Okay, so this is a good journal and very reputed journal which having an impact factor of 54. So hence the researchers coined the term as publish or perish. Okay, so it is also nowadays the UGC is pressured on college staffs as well as university faculties to publish good papers in reputed journals. So what is research writing? Any idea? Okay, it is a process of communicating the research outcome of an individual or a team to the research fraternity through standard platforms. As I said earlier, so you can publish, you can communicate your research articles through the research fraternity through the standard platforms like reputed journals. So what is a thesis? As your PG students, so it is a written work resulting from original research, especially one submitted for higher degree in your college or university to get your graduation. So what should be in the thesis or in the manuscript. What do you mean by manuscript? So it is a document before publication. That document we call as a written document of your research findings. Before publication we call it as a manuscript. Okay. After it is published, then it is called as a paper or article in the particular journal. So first you have to address a problem or a series of problems. And then you have to describe what was known about the problem. Next, what you did to solve the problems. Next, how you will be analyzing your result, what you get from the research findings. And how further the progress can be made, or what are the future development of the particular research problem. Next, coming to the structure of a thesis or a manuscript. So first you have to prepare an outline, and then you have to fragment the research content into chapters, and then you have to list out the major sections in each chapter. For example, if you are giving metals and methods, then you can have a subheading such as preparation of gold nanoparticles, and then comes the characterization of the gold nanoparticles, and then you can have the other activity studies of for example antibacterial activity or antifungal activity or anti-inflammatory activity of the particular gold nanoparticles what you have synthesized. So next you can discuss with your guide as well as supervisor, so you can assemble all your data, tables and figures. So coming to the framing of your manuscript as well as thesis title. So the title reflects your content of your work. By seeing your title itself, I should get idea what type of work you have done. Okay, and here next it should be very informative as well as specific and accurate. For example, if you are going to synthesize gold nanoparticles, and you are treating that gold nanoparticles against some cancer cell lines. Okay, then how do you frame your article? Simply synthesis of gold nanoparticles and its application. So this title will give you a broad view about your research work, but you should be specific. So you can reframe the title as synthesis of gold nanoparticles using some method. For example, by chemical reduction method, and then you can also and their applications in, or it is treated against a particular cancer cell lines. For example, breast cancer cell lines. So you should be specific because there are more type of cancers. Okay, so you should be specific in your title. So your title should be informative as well as it should reflect the content of your work, whatever may be your research work. For example, and avoid acronyms. For example, if I am writing as synthesis of silver nanoparticles or synthesis of gold nanoparticles, I have to give it in full form, silver nanoparticles, SILVER, not like AG, NGP or AU NGP. So the symbol as well as the acronyms should be avoided in your title. For example, synthesis of metal nanoparticles and the applications in degradation of textile dyes by advanced oxidation process. So this is an example of good title. Next, we should also avoid phrases like a study of, an investigation of. So these are the common titles normally we will be giving in your thesis. Okay, so you can reframe your title of your paper as well as your thesis. Little bit attractive also. So in your thesis, the front pages without your page numbers. So these are the front pages. So you should be having a cover page, certificate, declaration, and acknowledgement, and content page. So this content page will be consist of a list of abbreviations and acronyms, list of tables, figures, as well as abstract and the chapters in your thesis. That is introduction, review of literature, etc. Okay. So chapter in your thesis. So introduction, first chapter will be. So next you can give a review of literature. You can see one by one. Methods and methods, results and discussion, conclusion and references. So if you are writing for a manuscript or for a paper, then this review of literature, there is no need for a detailed review of literature. Okay, so you don't have to write a separate chapter on review of literature. You can incorporate in the introduction itself. You can give a common introduction and specific, and then you can give what are the importance of the study, and that before itself you can give your review. So this person have synthesized gold nanoparticles using the chemical reduction method or using a plant extract likewise. So if it is a paper, you need not worry about your review of literature chapter. So chapter 1, introduction. So you can divide your introduction into 3 parts. First, description of the general problem, that is what is known. And next, statement of the specific problem, what is unknown. And next, motivation for the study. Coming to the description of the general problem, the same. If you are going to write a paper on or your research work is on polymer, then you can have an introduction about polymer. Okay, so what are the uses of polymer? How polymer are made in the scientific world. Okay, so you can have a description of the general problem and then statement of the specific problem. So you are going to synthesize a particular polymer, for example polystyrene. Then you have to specific about that polymer, polystyrene. So what are the importance among this polymer and what are the advantages or disadvantages compared to other polymers. And next, motivation for the study. So what you are going to do. For example, if I am going to synthesize a polystyrene and I am going to use it for used as a membrane for water purification. So that will be a motivation for the study. So next, what is literature review? So it is an interpretation and synthesis of published work. Okay. So your chapter review of literature should contain a background information. So past as well as present literature. And how far back means if you are submitting your PhD dissertation or PG thesis, then it can be up to 10 years. If you are going for PhD, you are going to submit your PhD thesis, then it can be more than 25 years. For example, I have done my PhD on nanoparticles, so I have collected more than 1,000 articles, okay, from the year when the nanotechnology or the nanoparticles evolved. From that till the year 2015, I have collected all the literature, so I have put it in my review of literature. So the body of literature should be brief, but it should be focused. Next, coming to methods and methods. It should provide a detailed methodology used to conduct the experiment. So how you synthesize, how you prepare certain compounds. Okay. Next, the methods and methods should not be written like a laboratory manual. Okay. So you should describe your control or standard, whatever you have used in your research work, as well as the instrument used. And next, subheadings can be provided in sequence. So as I said earlier, first preparation and then characterization, and then you can go for some other applications if you are doing, then it should be in that sequence. Next, coming to the results, it should contain all the data to support your problem or to support your research work. And next, it should communicate the findings to the reader in a logical and transparent manner. It should be very transparent. If your result and discussion is good, then your paper will be accepted very easily. And the data presentation. So it should be clear, brief, in the form of graphs, charts. Simply you are writing a result and discussion for 2 to 3 pages or 4 pages. It will not be very attractive in manner. Okay, so then you can convert some information in the form of graphs, charts, photographs and drawings. So which will have a clear-cut idea about the finding of your research work. Next, coming to the discussions section. So to communicate the significance of your findings, what is more significant in your work. So you can pick up and you can give in your discussion part, and then to indicate how they support the experimental problem and to describe how these results advance the field of study. For example, I have carried out the work by using synthesizing gold nanoparticles and how it will treat it against a particular cancer cell lines. And previously reported literature may have shown that they have got 100% inhibition at a certain concentration. For example, 50 microgram concentration. But I got a result as at 25 microgram concentration. That is the same inhibition efficiency but at lower concentration. Then that will be your significance of the study. So you can describe how these results advance the field of study. So that you can mention, and you have to give supporting evidence, information from your previous work. So you can have a comparison of your previous work. So they have told this study shows that this much of inhibition efficiency, but our study shows a better efficiency when compared to the previous one. So you can compare with the previous literature, and you can use phrases such as the results shown in figure or shown in table number 1 or 2, whatever it will. Revealed that the formation of gold nanoparticles is spherical shape or a rod shape, etc. So coming to conclusion, so we should summarize new observations and interpretations and also insights that have resulted from the present work. And what are the contributions of new knowledge that your thesis or your paper or article? Any interesting future avenues. So from your research findings, any product can be developed in future. So you have to mention that also. Next, broader implications of your work. Okay. So this is a difference between thesis and paper. So your introduction part as well as the review part, methods and methods, result and discussion, conclusion, reference will be the same as your thesis will be in your paper. But the content, the page content will be limited in publication of paper or writing a manuscript, whereas you need to submit more pages in case of thesis. So introduction, you can submit, if it is for a PG thesis, 5 to 10 pages. So you can submit your thesis up to 100 pages for PG. If it is for MPhil, it is more than that, maybe 150 to 200. But if it is for PhD, it should be 250 pages. So introduction 50 to 10 pages. So next, the introduction parts itself, it should consist of aims and objectives. And next, review of literature approximately 20 pages. So it depends upon your work. And next, methods and methods, result and discussion, conclusion and reference. Whereas in manuscript or in paper, first you have to give abstract and then keywords and then introduction. So introduction part will also contain the review of literature. So in a very short time manner. So no need for detailed review of literature. And next, methods and methods, results and discussion, conclusion as well as reference. So in a manuscript or a paper, you have to give a particular keyword. For example, your research work is on polymer, okay? But you are giving a keyword like nano, then it will be not interconnected, okay? If I am going to search your paper, then I will be putting polymer, but you are giving a keyword like some other keywords other than polymer, then I will not get your paper, okay? So you should be specific in giving keywords while preparing your manuscript. So next, you have submit your thesis. you are ready with your paper, then these are the communication avenues. So you can publish your research findings in journals, books, edited books or book series, conference proceedings or monographs. So these journals, books, edited books or conference proceedings are the same concept, whereas monographs will be written by a single person on some specific topic. Okay, so these are the communication avenues. So how to prepare a paper? So after preparing a paper, how to publish that paper in a particular journal or a reputed journal. So these will be the steps. First you have to complete your research and you have to prepare your manuscript. That's nothing but the document before publication. And next you have to submit that particular document to the particular journal. If I am doing research on polymer and I am going to submit in nanoparticles journal, then you have to, it's not interrelated journal. Okay, so you have to choose the journal which will suitable for your paper, for your research work. You can go and search in the journal page, you can find the scope of the particular journal, then you can publish your work in the particular journal. So you can submit the manuscript. After that, the manuscript will be reviewed by 3 to 5 reviewers. So the reviewers may be the expert in the particular field. Okay. So next, you will be getting a decision like rejected or accepted. Okay. If it is accepted, then it will be within 2 or 3 days, you will be getting your work published. If it is rejected, then again you have to revise the manuscript. So they will be giving some commands. What can be incorporated in your paper? What should not be done? What should be avoided? So you can take that comments in a positive manner and you have to revise the manuscript and then you can publish. So how to prepare a manuscript? How will you prepare your thesis first? First, which chapter you will be ready with your thesis? Introduction part. Yes? Okay. So introduction part is very familiar. So you will be giving some title. So you are going to do this research work. So you can prepare your introduction. But in the case of preparing a manuscript, the first step will be methods and methods. Because you will be have more knowledge about how to synthesize the part. Because you have completed some part about your synthesis and you will be sent for characterization. Okay, so you will be having good idea about methods and methods. Okay, so you can start preparing your methods and methods first. And next, after characterization, you will be writing your results and discussion. And next, you can write conclusion and then you can go for your abstract. Because abstract will be consist of all together. You have to tell about some introduction, 2 lines about introduction, about the particular work, and next you have to give what work in the present work we were carrying out this work of this synthesis. So 2 lines, and next what is your result, and next conclusion. Okay, so finishing methods and methods, results and discussion, conclusion, and then you can write your abstract. And then coming to the introduction part and then reference. Why the introduction part is last means, if you start with your introduction, you will be writing what is known, but you may get some other results. So it should not connect with your introduction. So you will not be giving the importance of what you get in your results. Okay, so then the introduction part will be very poor in nature according to the reviewer. So finishing all these things, you can go for your introduction and then reference. So I have given some example for this research article. Okay, if you see this article, synthesis of various size gold nanoparticles by chemical reduction method with a different solvent polarity. Okay, so in this paper itself, you can see, so it is published in nanoscale research letters. They have given the article number. So citation for this article. What do you mean by citation? If I am writing a paper and publish a paper in the journal. So if somebody, okay, or the chemistry students, 9 of them have quoted my paper in their research article, then 9 citation for my article. Okay, so that is called citation. So this is abstract. So first they are given, pointed out how to tune the size of the gold nanoparticles in the chemical synthesis. So in their study, what they have carried out. Okay, so they have studied about the polarity of the solvent, which will influence the size of the gold nanoparticles. Okay, so next, what are the results of the study? And next they have given the conclusion. And these are the introduction part. As I said earlier, so the gold nanoparticles was a short introduction about the general, about gold nanoparticles, what are the applications, etc. And then in chemical, what about the chemical synthesis? And what about the solvents? How the solvent influence the growth of gold nanoparticles? And then finally, they have pointed out what they have done in their research part. Okay. So next, materials and methods. So the first, in materials, they have given all the materials what they have purchased and which company they have purchased and how much purity it is. And next, preparation of gold nanoparticles and characterization and instrumentation. So in characterization and instrumentation itself, they are divided into UV visible characterization, particle size distribution, and polarity index analysis and temp analysis. Okay. So next they are given the resultant discussion. So resultant discussion itself, they are given figure 1 depicts what it is. Okay. So and the results and discussion of the particular figure 1. So similarly, so this is also biocidal potential of biosynthesized silver nanoparticles against fungal threats. Okay, only antifungal activity of the silver nanoparticles are studied in this article. So here we have started the abstract based on the microbes. Okay. So introduction will be based on the microbes, importance of microbes, and how it causes diseases, etc. And what are the microorganisms we have chosen for this study. Okay. So this is another. This is a review article. So far we have seen 2 articles, which is a research article. So this is a review article. Okay. So in review article there is only introduction part will be there, and no need for materials and methods, result and discussion. You can give your review part in separate edits. So in some paper they can ask about highlights. Okay. So here abstract. So graphical abstract also. So introduction. So scope of the review, green synthesis of nanoparticles. Okay, next. This is also the review article. Okay, so now you are familiar with how to write the thesis or manuscript. Okay, any doubt regarding this? Shall we know to tools and techniques? So the tools and techniques will be which are available free. Okay. So academic search engines. So if you are going to write a introduction part or a review of literature, first you have to search collect some papers, research papers. So these are the good academic research journals where you can collect more number of papers which are published in good journals. If you put simply in Google search, you will be getting more papers. But some papers will not be that much quality papers. The quality will not be good. Okay. So if you go for this particular academic search engines, then you can get more papers in good journals, published in good journals. So first one will be Science Direct. So if you go into this academic search engine, okay, for example, Science Direct, you can put keywords related to your search. For example, polymer if it is, or nanoparticles, you can be specific in nature. If it is silver, you want silver nanoparticles, silver, put it as gold. Okay, so this is the home page of Science Direct. So in this, you will be having keywords, author name, journal or book title, volume, issue, page number. Okay. If you want to get a particular author's paper, okay. If Sonia has published some paper on polymer, then you want to get want to download Sonia paper means you can type your author name. Okay. So simply I am giving the keywords as polymers. So you will be getting lakhs of papers, okay, which will be published. In this, some paper will be research article and some paper will be review article, okay. And some paper you can have full access, that is you can download full paper. In some journal they will be provide only the abstract. Or you can put it as so you can put the keywords like this. Okay. So similarly in Google search also, one word, space, plus and space and another word. Okay. Then it will be more specific. So you can also refine by years, article type. If you want to have review articles or a research article or book chapters, whatever it is, and publication title also, in which journal you want. Okay. And subject area, whether it is should be in the chemistry part or it will be material science. Likewise, you can also refine your research. So similarly, you can use all other websites, Semantic Scholar, Synapse, Google Scholar and PubMed. So I have time. I have shown only one. Okay, you can try with other ways. If you have any doubt, you can ask me personally. So next, literature collection and analysis. So this will be the same what you have done in the previous. Okay, so academic search engine also. These are also Scholar C as well as paper digest and unpaid wall. But what is the difference between that academic search engines and this literature collection and analysis is using paper wall or unpaid wall and paper digest website. you can have a summary of the particular research article. So in previous academic research engines, you will be getting a full paper. But we don't have time to read out all the pages. If a research article is 10 pages, you will not have enough time. So you can, this software or this web pages will be skimmed through the paper. So it will be shorten the paper and it will be give information about the particular article. So I will copy this. So this is the home page of paper like this. And next. Okay. So I have opened this paper. So in all the papers or articles you will be having a DOI. Okay. So that is Digital Object Identifier. Okay, so each paper, each article you will be publishing in particular journals will have a DOI. Okay, like your date of birth. Okay, so if you copy this DOI number, so this is the open home page for Paper Digest. So I have copied the DOI and I have pasted here. So they will be giving a summary of the paper. Okay, what this paper is about. So they have given introduction objectives club together and what you can learn. So the important points. So the 10 to 15 pages research article is skimmed up to only 10 points. Now it is clear? So you can easily get an idea about what the work have been done in the particular paper. Okay, so this is how this paper digest or unpaid wall will be useful for young researchers. Okay. So the next one will be citation centered academic identifiers. So these are some of the academic search engines where you can get the paper based on the citation. So already I have explained what you mean by citation. Okay. So if a paper is published in a journal and that paper is quoted how many times by other researchers. So that is called as citations. Okay, or followers month. Okay. So that is citations. So in this web pages you will be getting in researchers app etc. You will be getting about the paper based on the citations. If some paper is having 1000 citations, then that paper will be first related to your research. And next comes the other paper based on the citation. So next one will be research background analysis. So here also you will be having a background about the particular topic. What do you mean by background? So Sonia is the daughter of this person or granddaughter of this person. So from their family background. Okay. So similarly, that this web pages will provide you the full background information. How many researchers are involved in the research? How many patents are there? How many patents are filed and how many patents are granted? Okay. And then how many papers have been published? Okay, the graph of the particular research publication from this year to this year. Okay, so you will be getting a wide background about a particular topic. So I will be open only one. So you can search everything, or particularly journals or funders, institution, country, subjects, publications. Okay. So I am putting your publications. So this much of publications will be there in the particular topic. You can go page number 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay? Or you can, if I am putting as journals, so what are the journals available in nanoparticles, publications, the citations, the researchers and the institution, and 375 authors across 36 countries are doing research on this particular topic. So you will be getting a wide information about that particular topic. Okay? So the same for applicable to other websites. Okay? Your free time you can click on this. You can. So next, coming to the text fine tuning tools. So some of the students will be do not have enough time to in framing the particular text or particular paper. They will be write whatever they want. Okay. So in that case, you can go to these using these tools. You can have a good text fine. Okay. For example, if I am clicking this first one, read dot. So I am you can cut and copy your document. So I am using paraphrasing. Okay. So you will be getting alternate words for a particular subject, or you can go for grammar checker. Okay. So you can correct your language. For example, the article describes the manufacture of the alternate words will be given. If you click on this word, so you can have synthesis, production, creation, fabrication. You will be knowing only synthesis. So you can put some other catchy words. So you can make it as fabrication. Okay. So describe it. Discuss in this article. You can paraphrase any words. So this is how this tool will be working. So you can go for grammar checker as well as plagiarism checker as well as paraphrasing. Or you can also summarize the particular document. If you give it a one-page document, then it will be summarized and it will be given in the form of 2 to 3 points. The same will be working for this refer and write, co-writing aid, Zoho writer, etc. Okay. So this app will also be a good app. So in all types of apps or tools, you can sign with your Gmail, using your Gmail. So these are some of the text finding tools. Okay. So next, graphics tools. So how the graphic tools will be useful? Simply you are giving in the form of a description. Okay, instead of giving in the form of a description 1 to 3 pages, you can convert your information into graphics form. Okay, so for this graphics tools will be useful. So these are the graphic tools. Okay, so Origin Pro, some of you are familiar with Origin Pro. Yes. So next. So this is easily available software. You can download in your desktop or in your laptop. So next comes GNU plot, Sigma plot, UC chart, Canva and display. So this UC chart will be format also, and you have, if you want to create videos, you can have this paper they will be asking about graphics abstract, graphical abstract. Okay, so you can transfer your information into graphics. So this templates. So free templates will be available. So you can create cards, etc. So presentation, here in design there should be presentation, graphs, planners. So you can click this graphs and you can do your graph. So the next one will be referencing tools. So these are the referencing tools. So mainly we include paper pile, Guru, Zotero and Easy Buy. Okay. So for if you are going to publish a paper, then each journal will have a different reference type. Okay. Some will be saying we have to author name first. In some journals, they will be following initial first, then author name. Okay. Some papers will be asking about which journal as well as paper title, etc. In some journals, they don't want about the paper title, they want only the journal title. Okay. Then page number, volume, page number, issues, volume, page number in the format, in this format. Okay. So normally you will be writing a thesis in the 8 years type things. Okay. So for this, you have to go for this referencing tools. If you go to this paper file, so you can sign in using your Gmail, and then you can go for. So if you put the demo classes will be here also, okay, in the website itself, and then you will be having your journal, for example. You go for reference. So this is how the reference should be. So here the author name followed by their initial. Or if they are having 3 names or 2 names, then you should be shortened as last name should be given. For example, M. Chanakul Firdos.ng. Okay? Because in foreign authors they will be having 4 names sometimes. Okay? So you can give the last name and then followed by their other names as letters, first letter. So this is how you can give. Then you can also give your DOI. Okay. In some journals, cite this article option will be there. If you click on that cite this article, then they will also providing in different format or different styles. So you can simply cut copy and paste it in your document. Okay, so try with this paper file also. Paper file. So next, coming to the plagiarism tools. So what is plagiarism? So you will be doing in exams, copying from your friends. The same happens in research community also. Okay, if somebody published some article and I have copied that introduction and put it in my paper without changing anything, then it comes as plagiarism. Okay. So senior most scientist CNR Rao, who have some citations of about 20,000 or more than that, I think so. Okay, so that person is also affected by this plagiarism because their research scholars, without the knowledge of that scientist, they have published the paper putting his name also, his name. Okay, so that much important is nowadays plagiarism tools. Okay, these are some of the plagiarism tools, but first 3 tools will be you have to purchase. Okay, it is not freely available. It can be get open and turn it. But PlagScan and Scan My Essay. So these are the tools which will be freely available to some extent. Okay. Next, Copy Leak. This is software which will be available in our college. So you can utilize this Copy Leak software to check the plagiarism. Okay. Okay, thank you. If you have any queries. Whether you have to understand something, how to write a thesis, how to write a paper. My small request, if you completed your research work, whatever may be, okay, and if you put it in the form of a thesis and submitted in our college, then it will be in the form of a book only. If you are able to publish, if it is even a small work, if you are able to publish in as a paper or article in some journals, then you will be familiar among your peer members. Okay, if I put somebody published some paper, then if you put your name in Google, then your paper will be easily available. So that is also a credit. Okay, so try to publish at least one paper before submitting your thesis. Okay, all the best for the future. Thank you.